Race fans, good evening and welcome to the World Center of Racing, Daytona Beach, Florida. Welcome to Ghost Racing Network. And tonight, the dawn of a brand new season. The chapter book's wide open. You can write how it ends. It all starts here in Daytona. Welcome to live here in the Ghost Broadcasting Network. This is Matt up in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Booth. Want to thank everyone for joining us here live tonight in prime time on GRN as we get racked, stacked, ready to rock and roll for some high-flying, high-entertaining plate race action here from the Big House in Daytona Beach Racing, Florida. Qualifying currently underway, about 9 minutes through. Most of the drivers have posted times already. Let's go ahead and get the graphics up on the screen for you guys at home so you can follow along with us. Todd Craig currently on the provisional pole. And if he can hang on just for a few more seconds, he is going to have P1 to roll off race one. So it looks like we're going to have 20 drivers take the initial green flag here tonight. 16 of them have posted a time. Dustin Vendelhusen, Levi Allen, Doc Stout, Sam Bolin, and Dustin Van Heusen have elected to pit start as they have not posted a time. And a lot of times that is strategy. I myself deploy that same one here at Daytona. You know, they call it the great equalizer. You put a hauler here in the infield, you put a car out on the racetrack, you have as good a chance as anyone to wind up here in victory lane. And that's what makes plate racing absolutely incredible and so exhilarating to watch as these cars get lined up behind that iRacing.com pace car. So we get rack stacked, ready to rock and roll here. Let's take a look at our race information. Daytona, USA, the place. It's advertised as a 2.5-mile super speedway. Technically, it's tracking in at 2.48 miles. Ambient air temperature is absolutely beautiful, 78 degrees. Relevant humidity clocking in at 88%, partly cloudy skies. And winds currently out of the east at 8 miles an hour. Could be gusting at times, and that could play a factor in that turbulent air out on the racetrack. So drivers do need to be aware of that should it pick up over the course of this race tonight. Again, we're going 100 laps tonight. Distance that field now begins to roll behind that iRacing.com pace car. Todd Craig going to lead him down pit road. Or excuse me, they have not rolled yet. However, that field is just about racked, stacked, ready to rock and roll. I think Todd Craig is going to have the pole. Cody Dell on the outside of row one. Let's pull up the starting grid for you folks at home. As that field now begins to roll behind that iRacing.com pace car. Todd Craig is going to have the pole. Cody Dell is going to start P2 here. James A. Morris rolls off in that third place position, while Brett Hunt in that 98 machine is going to slot in that fourth place spot. Fifth belongs to Bailey Dutton. Outside of him in row number 3, that's going to be Barry Kramer. Keith Hume rolls off 7th. Justin Chilton 8th. 9th belongs to Justin Lee Pearson. Nathan Mitchelson 10th. Kyle Keys and Toby Keys round out the top 12. 13th belongs to Patrick Stainer. Outside him is going to be GT Israeli. 15th, Jason Mullins. The 0-2 ride of David Camara starts P16 here. Levi Allen in that 97 ride is going to roll off 17th. 18th belongs to Doc Strout. And rounding out the field tonight, starting shotgun on the field from Realty Racing, that's going to be Dustin Van Heusen in that 23 machine. His 23 driver is going to take the initial green flag here tonight. Get rid of the tower or ticker for you. Throw the tower up as those lights are out on that iRacing.com pace car, which means we are going green flag racing this time by. The calm before the storm here at Daytona. It's about to get rowdy and go from 0 to a Category 5 hurricane as Cray now approaches the restart zone. It's time to wipe the visor and adjust the 3-point harness. Let's go racing live in prime time. Green flag in the air and the V8s come roaring to life as we climb the H pattern for the first time here this evening. Cray got a great restart there. Has some excellent support there on the bottom. You can see just how that line was able to surge out. And in fact, it looks like we're going to go single file here through about the top 10, 11 cars as we finally start to come up to speed down the backstretch. Got a car there off of the, below the double yellow line. James Morris there in the that 18 TRD powered machine. Not sure if he missed a shift or if that's just by design going to the back here to stay out of the big one. We bring our focus back up front to Todd Cray as he currently carries the torch over the 26 of Dutton, Hunt, Dahl, and Pearson. And that 44, that's current top 5 as they run right now. Single file here early. These drivers are smart, great situational awareness. Understand you can't win these races on lap 1, lap 5. It's about what you do to save your equipment to get you to the checkered flag because that's when it counts. Sometimes you got to survive and be alive. And these drivers currently are all about logging some laps right now. That's the vibe I'm getting as we're currently single file pretty much all the way. First side-by-side action there. Looks like it's going to be perhaps Jason Mullins. No, it's back further than that. Excuse me. They're all single file now, so we are single file ribbon conveyor belt style here. Levi Allen there in the 97 machine just hit fastest lap of the race, clocking in at a 47.66. Barry Kramer there going up the hill a little bit in that Chevrolet ZL1 Camaro. 41's going to pick him up. Jason Chilton. See if they can maybe possibly work together, try to go forward, or they're just probably riding right now, and that's exactly what they are doing. Levi Allen. Does he hit the quick lap? Kobe Key said, my turn. He goes a 47.53. Running in that 8th place position. Bailey Dutton up 3 positions from where he started. He is on the move up to that P2 position. Welded to the bumper of the 21 of Cray, who is led from the initial drop of the green flag, started from the pole. So we continue to run single file here in the early going. I want to thank everyone for joining us here live on Ghost Racing Network. If you're thinking about joining the family, it's simple. Smash the like button, ring the bell, come home to 6 days of high-flying, high-octane racing action right here on Ghost Racing Network. You'll also get notifications every time the Premier Sim Racers Club takes the battle to the racetrack. Right here on Ghost Racing Network. You won't miss anything. Here's Preston Preston Hunt there in the 98 ride. He's up a spot. And his drivers clearly trying not to be a part of the attrition out there on the racetrack. You know, we call this, you know, the great equalizer, but there's an ugly side to it, and that's the big one. You know, plate racing, you know, promotes side-by-side, closely packed quarters racing, and it only takes a car to breathe, to move, wobble just an inch here or there, and it, you know, can be disastrous out there on the racetrack, potentially taking out, you know, the entire field. Or, you know, almost the entire field, half the field at times. And these drivers certainly don't want to be caught up in that type of that calamity. The best way to prevent that, running single file out there on the racetrack. Not that you can't have problems, but it certainly turns the intensity down a little bit. But I can promise you this, folks, it will get rowdy before we crown a winner here when it is all said and done. Gray continues to lead. The 26 of Dutton in close proximity. That 26 Hardy's machine. Great looking paint scheme on that car. Then you have Pearson in the 44. In fact, what do you say we go on board with Pearson? Right along with him. You can see just, you know, how, you know, critical, you know, staying in line is, you know, that, you know, greatly affects the draft. He's trying to stay basically laser locked to the back of that Hardy's car. You can see very light, minimal inputs on that steering wheel. The less you move that wheel left to right or right to left, the less speed you're going to scrub off, the more energy you're going to maintain, and that's going to help you to go faster as well as the other drivers around you, especially drafting. You see him trying to be as just smooth as a button with that wheel right now. If you guys at home think they're just holding this wide open, it's a lot more than that, folks. These guys are constantly lifting, modulating the throttle, because once that draft kicks in, that's going to help that car, in this case Hunt, accelerate towards Cray and Dutton. If he didn't lift, he's going to smack him in the back, and a lot of times, depending on how hard he hit him, that's going to basically punt him off into the corner and potentially kick off the big one. So, you know, plate racing is definitely an art form. These drivers are constantly working, modulating that throttle, you know, trying to mitigate those inputs on the steering wheel. That all translates to the speed department. Go ahead and we're going to lighten things back out. All you folks at home joining us tonight here, we certainly appreciate you being on board tonight. $98 a Hunt there in that third place position. Team Connie representing. And they put together some extremely competitive setups over Team Connie Performance. They always run well in SNN Cup Series Sunday night or Stacy Strong Cup Series, depending on how new you are to that league. Team Conti always represents very well, and they have one of their cars in that third place position right now with Hunt. Eleven of the scheduled 80 laps now completed. And again, it has been all Todd Cray. He took the pole in qualifying, and he took the torch here an initial green flag dropped, and he has not relinquished it, as it's Todd Gray, Daley Dutton, Britton Hunt. That runs out your top 3 podium place. Nathan Mitchelson up to that 4th place position. Well, Justin Lee Pearson in that 44 machine in that occupies that final spot into the top 5. Justin Pierleson, that 7th place position. GT currently up 6 spots, one of the biggest movers on the racetrack, currently resides at 8th. 9 belongs to Levi Allen. And Jason Mullins in the 51 rounds out the top 10. Little side-by-side action here. Starting to get 2 by 2 here. A little racy. You see that top side lane being led by those Toyota drivers. And like the marketing slogan says, they're going places and they're taking it to the front. First time Cray has been challenged for the lead all night, and it's going to be by Team TRD. Big time move. Absolutely incredible. The 99 just threw that race car down the racetrack and squeezed it right in between the 98 and the 14. Sometimes you get lucky and it works, and other times those holes close up quick, just like what happened right there. He got away with it the first time, and he barely got away with it the second. That was definitely the don't stain your ride, use tide moment of the race thus far. And see, that's what I was talking about, at the top of the broadcast, folks. When they're out there running single file, there's less things that can go wrong out there on the racetrack. Big power tie move. Here we go. Now he wants to take his turn leading. Does he have any help? It looks like the 26 of Dutton is going to go with him on the high side of the racetrack. Excuse me, that is GT in that Ford Mustang on the high side of the racetrack. That time by at the line. Nathan Mitchelson credited with leading that lap by 5/1000ths of a second. And that's, we know how many epic and absolutely fantastic finishes this track has produced over the years. Will we see one like that tonight, folks? I would say there's a high probability, as we're starting to get dicey. That second lane has formed, and it is coming fast and furious style. The 99 ride there on the outside. Mitchelson leads that train. A side draft going on there. That was Hunt that threw it down there. Beautifully executed, by the way. Oh, that 14 just had a side draft, I think, gone wrong. He had to take it way up there. He had to chase it way up into the nosebleeds, and that's going to cost him some positions out there on the racetrack. You can see that Richard Petty Blue Ford dropping back on the high side. Looks like that's going to move GT back to about that 1 place position. And he's going to lose a couple more slots here as he's got to wait for some help. That bottom line is formed up nicely. They're going to continue to pass him and go on by. Actually, I take that back. GT was able to get a little side draft there and get some momentum in that race car. Is able to draft back up. But Pearson. Nice recovery there from GT. Sometimes early on in these races, especially before the stage, that happens to you as a driver. You'll just go ahead and go on, ride to the back and then regroup, reformulate your plan. But that was beautifully done by GT. Took it to the top shelf. The nosebleeds were, to basically keep that car out of harm's way. And then when he had an opportunity, got back down in line, was able to get the momentum back in that race car, and he is going back towards the front. So he now slots in behind Justin Lee Pearson in that 44 machine. Little bit of a bobble there from the 26. He just blocked that little bit of that push there, getting into the corner, or it could be that turbulent area. You know, these cars breathe and flex back and forth a little bit as they run side by side at speeds almost 200 miles an hour. And it looked like Logan Keys were literally leaning on each other coming through the tri-oval. You couldn't fit a sheet of paper between those guys. You can see the intensity starting to pick up here as we start to approach the end of stage 1. Todd Gray, your pole sitter, led a majority of the opening laps. Now currently sits in that 3rd place position. Second car in the inside line. He has got a bad fast CL1 Chevrolet Camaro. Sam Bolin there in that 13 machine, up 10 spots from where he started. He is starting to pick up some positions here in the last handful of laps in that Camaro, working on that bottom. In fact, he is tied for biggest mover of the race with Levi Allen. They're up 10 positions respectively. Oh, we got punched in the sucker hole, and we just sent this crack aflame. Is the big one. Like a nuclear bomb. Yeah, that's not what these drivers had in mind. They were doing the right thing, running single file. The minute you go back to that 2x2, as we uncork the big one here for the first caution for incident at Daytona. It's going to slow things down here as that pace car going to have to come back out onto the field. Let's go over to the GRN instant replay and see exactly what went wrong here. Go ahead and roll playback. Going to keep this slowed down. Oh, you can see we got a big time pile up here on the outside lane. Let's go ahead and roll this back just a little bit further. Go old school VHS mode here. I think it was a push gone wrong that basically lit the wick on this one. There we go. Let's go to the chopper. That should give us a good visual here. It's going to pop off that outside second or third lane. You can see there's okay, I see what happened. The field got stacked up there. You see the flames coming out the exhaust, so they're lifting. Someone's going to get turned. There's the turn. He comes down and absolutely punches that Hardy's machine. It's going to ricochet him back up into the catch fence. And then from there on, you got nowhere to go. As these things happen in the blink of an eye, and the 45, the 14, everyone just starts to pile in there. And coming down the racetrack, there's some there's additional contact. There's the 4, the 43, the 45. It's Toby Keith Hume. A lot of great drivers. Oh my, did you see a 4 of Keith Hume? I mean, he absolutely ate the end. I mean, he's going to be picking up his dental work inside the cockpit of that race car for a week. A lot of big hits in this wreck, and that's going to have some big-time implications on this race, or potentially could. As first caution for incident reminds everyone what Daytona is capable of, as the big one shows its ugly face here early. So we now go back to the live side of things. Haley Dutton there in the 26, now exiting pit road. Logan Keys. All these cars caught up in that that incident out there on the racetrack, getting repairs done to their race cars. GT, Keith Hume, Toby Keys. And we'll see how that affects the intensity out there on the racetrack. So we send it back up to the front. Your pole sitter, early leader, you guessed it, back to the front after pit stop. Todd Craig in that 21 Sterling Marlin silver throwback or silver bullet throwback paint scheme on that race car. Currently being scored as your leader. Well, we're currently under caution. We're going to step aside, pay some bills, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on GRN. I apologize for that, folks. It looks like our graphics guy decided we're going to step aside. We'll be right back. Race fans, welcome back to Daytona International Speedway. Green flag back in the air. We are back down to the hard flying racing action here. Coming off our first incident of the evening, and it was a big one. Turned the entire racetrack into a scrap heap. We had parts raining in the grandstands as multiple cars involved. tick-tock. Here comes the Doc. Up 17 positions. This guy started in the next county over. And he is now leading here at Daytona. Working with Jason Chilton there in the 41. He's up 6 positions. Cody Dahl there in that 3rd place position right now. He's currently started 2nd, slid 1 back. James A. Morris in that 18 machine. He's currently 4th. And Barry Kramer in that 11 currently runs in that 5th place position. It's that 2nd lane trying to form there on the outside of the racetrack. Little Ford on Toyota action there on the outside. Thought about going up to the outside lane, but then quickly brought it back down to the bottom. Thought better of it. We now work lap 28 of the scheduled 80 laps here tonight. And want to thank everyone for tuning in right here on GRN. Matt Mettler up in the Tony Trapasso Memorial broadcast booth. And again, folks, remember, this is this inaugural start of, or I shouldn't say inaugural, the start of Season 2, Race 1. You know, for a lot of these drivers, whatever happened last season, you know, if things didn't go as planned, you didn't get the finishes or the final results that you were looking for, you know, it's a brand new season. You know, you can make it anything you want to be. Everyone is confident, positive, highly optimistic, and they all believe that they can go out there and get it done and win at the end, you know, and win at this end of this season. And boy, if you want to really jumpstart the rest of the season, coming out of here with a win will certainly give you the momentum to do that. Doc Stout now falls back to that 12th place position after having the lead there on that restart. We send it back up to the front. Cody Dahl now. '41 to Chilton in line. He works about now going to start to get a push here from the 18 of Morris. That's going to close the gap up. Or at least should a little bit, as he was lagging back just a little bit off of the 10 of Cody. But then again, with these Xfinity cars, you really don't have to be super tight, you know, in line to keep the momentum. You do have a little bit of a gray area there where you can give yourself a little bit of a safety net and not cost too heavily in the speed department. Don't look now. Here comes that 51 of Mullis on the outside. He is up there all by himself. Trying to be a side draft warrior. In fact, he's really not even side drafting that much. He's holding on his own there pretty well. In fact, he is starting to come back. This is impressive. Let's go on board with Jason Mullis. This is pretty incredible for the driver out of North Carolina. No help. All by himself. No dance partner. No one, you know, not working with anybody. He's just out here on a Sunday drive, hanging out in the outside lane. And this is not supposed to work. I've seen it. You know, a fluke a couple times here and there. But Mullis currently slots in that 5th place position. Now he starts to get a run here. Let's flip around to the bumper cab. Make sure he's not getting a push now. Making a liar out of me. Oh, there's help coming. But still, he was out there flying solo. That was a very impressive job there by Mullis. Now has that John Deere Ford with multiple cars now forming that second lane once again. You got the 18 of James A. Morris there leading that outside lane. Again, only now working lap 34. And again, folks, still really early to start, pushing, pushing the issue here. More oftentimes than not, the leader on the white flag lap is not the leader at the start-finish line. And in fact, more oftentimes than not, you do not want to be the leader at a place like Talladega. Here at Daytona on the final lap, multiple drivers will tell you that. And I can't tell you, I've lost a lot of super speedway races leading at the white flag. Let's go ahead and take a look at our weather, see if anything's changed from the top of the broadcast. Winds died down a mile an hour. Ambient air temperature holding steady at 78 degrees. However, the humidity is picked up 89%, partly cloudy skies, and that track temp 80 degrees. That is thanks to this being a nighttime race. And not that Daytona is typically hard on tires. Most plate racing isn't. But an 80-degree track temp. These cars will be making all the grip. Might take the tires actually a couple laps longer to heat up. That the track temp's only 80 degrees. But tire wear certainly, I can promise you, is not going to be a problem here this evening. I want to take a moment here to thank all of our strategic partners, sponsors within Premier Sim Racers Club. Obviously, want to thank all the men and women behind the scenes for everything that you guys do to make this series possible. Without you, it certainly couldn't be done. These guys are a lot on the line here. When all is said and done, new sim rig going to go to the winner, courtesy with our strategic partners. These guys have done a heck of a job putting a very well-rounded, highly competitive league together. And certainly some great prizes and incentives for these drivers as they race throughout the season. James Morris, now he's going to lead for the first time here this evening as he's actually going back and forth between the 18 and Dal, but Morris will get credit for leading that lap at the line. Most of these drivers, in fact, all of them last down pit road on lap 22. Take that back. Levi Allen and Logan Keys came down the next lap, lap 23. So we got plenty of go fast in the tank for the time being. However, we do not have enough to make it to the end. Should we stay green, we're going to see we should have a round of green flag pit stops. And that can really has a tendency to really shake up the running order and potentially really space things out over on the racetrack. Logan Keys in the 43. Giving a push to the 93 of Patrick DeSollier. This is for that 16th and 17th place position. So this is going on about 50 seconds back. That can't be right. Timing and scoring is kind of out to lunch right now, telling me that they're 50 seconds off the lead. And, well, the lap time around here right now is almost a 48-second lap. So, currently working together, trying to regain some precious track position. Obviously, a caution completely changes everything. Throw everything we've been, you guys have been working on right now out the window, is that would re-rack, restack the field once again. But right now, these two drivers doing everything they can to work together, these two Toyotas, try and make up some ground. Folks at home will throw up their onboard telemetry. You can see roughly 180 miles an hour steady through corner entry. Going to scrub off a little bit. There's 178 on corner exit, and that's going to start to climb back up again. Especially as these cars get locked in nice and tight, and there's the speed reflecting 185 into the turns 3 and 4 complex. Now, if you compare their speeds in a 2-car draft versus, let's say, this lead pack, you can see the difference here, folks. 186 miles an hour coming off the corner. And this speeds, of course, this is we're referring to Cody Dahl here, the 10-year leader, 187 at the start-finish line. Probably going to be about 190 going into 190. So you can see, well, Patrick and GT are working together. They just, unfortunately, they don't have enough numbers here out with them on the racetrack. Well, they're still losing time. However, it's a lot better than being out there by yourself, because, that lap time, it's crazy when you're out there by yourself. It's, 47, 48 seconds around this place, and the field catches you quick, fast, and in a hurry. David Cameron, that 0-2 ride, just inside the top 15, currently owns that 14th place position. Started back there in that 16th spot, so he's climbed 2 spots up the scoring pylon. And he is with the lead draft. They're hanging on to the end of it, but they still got it. Oh my! That was a hold your breath moment. Not certain surely what happened there with Kramer. Like he got loose, went down below the double yellow line. That is out of bounds. You cannot go down there and advance your position, at least in real life. But anyways, Kramer there definitely had a moment in that Chevrolet, able to get it in a very controlled manner back up onto the racetrack. Cars looks a little, oh, here we go. That's why. Okay, pit stops. Here we go. Multiple cars coming down pit road. Being led by Todd Cray. He actually went off and went plowboy mode there. He got a little bit of the grass. He gets it back onto the racetrack. The 28 Hardy's ride coming down pit road as well. See service being completed on the 21 of Cray. He's going to be the first car off of pit road. And you definitely want to have some a battle buddy with you. You want to have some friends coming off of pit road, and that's exactly what Todd Cray has. He's got the Hardy's ride with him there, the 28. He's got Bailey Dutton in the 26 as they now come back out onto the racetrack. As they now get back up to speed. That's going to cycle Mullis to the front in that 51. James Morris slots into that second place position. Remember, these drivers have not come down pit road yet for service, so they will have to pit. These guys, Morris, last down, and here they come. Being led by the 10 of Cody Dahl. James Morris in there as well. Jason Chilton, Rary Kramer, Justin Lee. See the little jack work here on the race car. That's a two-tire stop. Other drivers fuel only. And you have this next group now exiting pit road. We're going to see how this cycles through. It's Chilton, Morris, Barry Kramer. As you can see, those cars that just came down pit road now passing them out on the racetrack. Todd Cray leads this group. And this should be for the race lead here at the line. .51 technically still being scored as the leader, but that's going to change here. Quick, fast, and in a hurry. As here comes Todd Cray and company. He is going to be the leader after pit stops complete. Bailey Dustin, Brett Hunt, and the 99 of Nathan Hitchinson run in this group of cars, race cars. And right now they have about 3.5 second advantage over Mullis. Remember, he's currently in the 51 by himself, so he's going to be dropping back like a cliff. You can see him bleeding time. And you got to go back to the 18 of Morris. As he leads the charge in the second group. Currently past halfway. 49 laps written in the books here. We're working lap 50 this time by. 30 laps remaining in this one. Todd Cray and company here. These drivers are all going to try and work together to be absolutely perfect. They want to be laser straight, or as possibly as they can be. Neatly tucked in behind each other. You don't want to see them, pulling out, trying to racing side by side. That's just going to slow you down and allow that second group of race cars to start eating into that advantage that you have out there on the racetrack. Morris's pack is catching him. Let's see, last time by at the line, Morris ran a 47.76. Todd Cray ran a 40.83. So that second group is quicker. Now, if they have enough time or not, that is the other question. As Cray continues to lead. Bailey Dutton in the TRD-powered Hardee's machine has been glued to that silver bullet throughout this race tonight. They have been working together. And a lot of times at plate races, you got to make friends, real time on the racetrack. Who can you team up with, out there? It gives you, not, the best chance to win the race. We've seen it throughout the course of history. Race car drivers that work, teammates working well together, on super speedway races, Tony Stewart, Dale Earnhardt Jr., just to name a couple, or a pair, I should say. And those Gen 4 cars, they always seem to get hooked up out there together, and they were fun to watch. They did it a little bit in the COT car as well. Back when the tandem drafting was the thing, a two-car tanker. A lot different from the modern car of today. That's for certain. See the push there from the 26, Bailey Dutton, now starting to be a little more aggressive here and give the business to the 21 of Todd Cray. Second pack of cars just coming into the complex here. Morris now 6.31 seconds behind, so they are now losing time. Cray's group has certainly turned up the excitometer, and they have picked up their pace. Sometimes numbers helps you. The second group does have, more cars here in this train working together, but, you have to all work collectively, as one group. You can see the 10 here giving a big time push there to the 18. Backs off him in the corner, not bump drafting through the corner yet. Can be done in these cars. It's not like the Gen 4 car where if you breathe on somebody, Mexican Jack and just throws the back of the race car up, up in the air. Bump drafting those cars down the straightaway can be challenging. Forget about it in the corners. These cars here, you can pretty much stay connected all the way around the racetrack, but there's always a price for every advantage you make, and then that's just you'll smoke your engine. So you have to be very careful. You're monitoring your water temperatures as well, especially when you're pushing as hard as the Ted is right now. I mean, he is locked to the bumper of the 18. However, that gap is really not changing. It has about stayed the same. Still about 6.3 seconds between the two groups. back. Let's go on board with Cody Dahl. So just tutorial here in bump drafting. You can see he comes off the corner. Oh, you don't want to push him there. He backs off a little bit and slides the nose of his race car square so it's flush with the back of that Supra. You don't want to push on the corners. That makes things go boom. See, coming up the corner, he's going to square up, administers the shot, and if I throw their telemetry up in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen for you guys as well, you can see how that reflects in the performance, or I should say the mile per hour department. About 185 through this coming off the corner here. Here he comes back to the bumper. There's the contact. And watch the mile an hour. 191, 190. We peaked about 192 there into the corner. Right now it is go time for this pack of drivers right here. We had one epic explosion out here on the racetrack. One caution for incident involving multiple cars. As we went X Games mode, cars flipping, crashing, sliding up and down the racetrack. But that was it, our only caution for incident. Green flag pit stops completed. Potentially the money stop for most of these drivers. Continue right on board with Cody Dahl. He's currently working with James Morris, Jason Chilton, Barry Kramer, trying to run down. That first group of cars actually changed for the lead. Bailey Dutton now leads. As Todd Cray has been shuffled back to P4. So he's second from the last car in this group. Bailey Dutton is now the HMFIC here in Daytona. Being pushed by Team Connie driver Brenton Hutton, excuse me. In fact, you have Toyota's first through third. They own the top three positions right now. First Chevrolet in line is going to be piloted by Cray. That's ZL1 Camaro. And in fact, 20 laps to go, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to step aside, but don't go anywhere. We're going all-out coverage. You're not going to miss anything right here on GRN. Fans, welcome back from our all-out coverage break here on Ghost Racing Network as we are just 15 laps to go from Sim Racers Premier Season 2 kickoff tonight in primetime here from Daytona Beach, Florida. Home of the world center of the home of... I'm going to let that one go. I swear, you start thinking about saying something, and that's when you bobble it. The world center of speed. That's what I was trying to say. Gonna find out if Dustin Bailey, that's from another league. Bailey Dutton has enough Hardee's biscuits in that TRD powered machine to get win number 1 in race 1 of the season. And I know I said earlier in this broadcast, a lot of times you don't want to be leading on the final lap. However, if there was a scenario to be leading on the final lap, having a smaller group of race cars would probably play to your odds. You don't have 2 lanes of traffic. Well, at least you don't have that right now. That's going to change. But if we remain single file, you just have to start. This is where blocking gone wrong could come into play, where you see a lot of big blocks and highlight reel event type spectacular crashes happen as a result. Just rely on the spotter doing a lot of mirror driving, see if who's going to pull out in line, and then you just, it's all blocking from there. Whereas if you have one big pack of race cars, it gets absolutely rowdy. And that's where you're, more susceptible. But for right now, it is all Bailey Dutton. Started in that P5 position, so he's up 4 spots from where he started this race. Hunt, the 98, started up near the front. In fact, he started in P3, or P4, excuse me. He runs in second. Todd Cray, your pole sitter, led a lot of the early going of this race, then led again later on before and during that green flag pit sequence. And then recently was dethroned while we were covering action in the second pack of cars. But he has worked his way back up through that first group. And he has now climbed his way back into a podium position. He currently owns that 3rd place position. And these 3 drivers here may be trying to treat Nathan Mitchelson like the redheaded stepchild, because he could be on the verge. Well, he's not now, but it was looking like he may lose the draft, as those 3 drivers were packed tight, trying to get away. And in fact, this race is about to take on a different shape. There's a 99 slotting in. The 41. He's going to pull out. He's going to go to the high side. Does the 41 start to build the second lane? Let's see if it starts. And here come more drivers follow. The 41's going to go to the high side as well. Look, the 11 thought about it. He came back down in line. Now he jettisons out again. Here we go. Looks like T-minus 10 laps is when we're going to form the second train once again here at Daytona. Game faces, man your battle stations. This is when it's going to get rowdy out here on the racetrack And look who's going back to the point, getting a big push there. Cray to the high side. 3 wide at the line. They put Cray in the sucker hole. And what is this? We have drivers going towards the calls of tyranny or the sucker hole. We're 3 wide. We formed a 3rd lane in the middle. You don't see that every day. Usually we call that, when you get caught there in the sucker hole, usually that's like a black hole, a vacuum. You just get sucked right usually to the back of the pack. Or sometimes, it has a chance of kicking off an incident on the racetrack as well. But when Cray got caught in the barricades there, he didn't use that as a disadvantage. He used it as an advantage as more drivers went to that abyss and made it work. Trey and Mullis on the high side working together. Then you have on the bottom in fact, that high side should now start to prevail as they have the numbers. Oh, you don't want to catch a piece of the wall there. That's going to slow your momentum down. You see how that line starts to momentarily break apart just a little bit. Now we form a lane up in the nosebleeds. That's going to put Todd Cray back in the hornet's nest again. And I'll tell you what, when 3 wide is done right at Daytona, it absolutely looks beautiful. And these guys are putting on one heck of a show. I ain't going to lie. With some of the other leagues that I broadcast, which I'm very thankful for, you see this right here, and that usually spells disaster. And these guys are making it work. Great control of the race car. You can see this, clearly. Multiple talented race car drivers. Oh, there's contact. We go chitty, chitty, bang, bang, and we're going to pop off again as I just invoked the broadcaster's curse. Just as I was giving these guys some love out there on the racetrack. And that caution, remember what I said earlier, take what we're talking about now, crumple it up and throw it out the window? This race is about to go nuclear here with a late race caution. It's going to slow things back down. Again, this is only second caution for incident on the evening. We had the big one early in this one. And then we were green flag racing there outside of a stage caution. Well, essentially green the rest of the way up until moments ago. 99 is missing the back half of his race car. His business end is gone. Multiple drivers coming down pit road here, including the 99 of Nathan Mitchelson. See the 18 of James Morris there as well. 43, the 44. All inside their pit box getting service on their race cars. Aerodynamics is virtually everything here at Daytona. Crease, right spot on these race cars, definitely cost you in the speed department. So no surprise, these guys coming down pit road. We send it back up to the point. iRacing.com pace car picks up the field as we are under caution late. And this will more than likely invoke overtime with only 3 laps remaining and lights still on the pace car. This is going to bring the pack back in full swing. That single file or side-by-side racing we were saying, gone. It is. We're going to see. This is going to be, just strap in, folks. It's about to get lit here at Daytona. Checking here with the replay team, or the production team, I should say. Timing and scoring, not giving us an opportunity here to show a replay. For whatever reason, that did not trigger or log as an incident on that end. We're going to try a couple different areas here, see if we can get that replay for you before we go back racing here at Daytona. Again, if you're tuning in late, season opener here for the Premier Racers Sim Club. The place, Daytona Beach, Florida, the big house. And the nighttime has been the right time for Premier Sim Racers in prime time, as they have been put on an exhilarating performance thus far. Lights now go out on the pace car. One more opportunity for those drivers. Reach in there, pull those belts tight, as Darrell Waltrip used to say. One more time. Go ahead, adjust the visor. Make sure those gloves are nice and tight on your hands. And this is a race car driver where you set the internal dial to kill. You start seeing red. Teammates, friends are out the window. Give and take is over. You're not lifted until you hit the checkered. So you hit trust the start-finish line into the Geico restart zone. Craig slams on the throttle back to the... And we are racing once again here at Daytona with just 2 laps to go. Tandem drag racing there. Now Craig goes up to the high side. He's going to try to pick up the run. What a drafting job there by Craig. Playing 2 different cars on the 2 different... That is incredible. Craig Dutton, here, Chilton Hunt. That high side starting to get some boogie in it, though. Here comes the 41 as he's leading the charge to the outside. Craig and Dutton take it back down, eating on the inside. Those popsicle sticks are going to come down. White flag is going to go in the air the final time around here at the big house in Daytona. Bailey Dutton now brings him through the turns 1 and 2 complex for the final time tonight. He's going to keep that Hardy's machine glued to the bottom of the racetrack. Todd Trey, oh, we got a problem. We got big time problems. This is absolute pandemonium and chaos and ultimate destruction out here on the racetrack. The 11 just went X Games mode. Barry Kramer went up and over. Tony Hawk 360 that saw a little Ryan Newman 2020 as in there as well. And unofficially, at the line, the 99 of Nathan Nicholson is going to win this race. Brenson Hutt is going to be in P2. James Morris is going to get credit with a third place finish. I told you, folks, it's never over until it's over. Big time. Big things popping, little things stopping here on the final lap. Let's go back to the replay. As that really shook up the outcome of this race. And I apologize, folks, but the replay software is not cooperating right now at the moment, so we'll send it back to the live side of things. Is race 1 now officially in the books? Race winning moment there for Nathan Nicholson in the 99 ride. In fact, he finished 9 spots from where he started in the 99. Thank him for your pick 3 lottery numbers tonight. If you win, make sure you give him his percentage. But how about the way to kick off your season tonight? Doesn't even have a back clip of the race car is virtually gone. The 99 wins a shocker here to kick the series off. Absolutely incredible. As we now wait to speak to our top 3 finishers this evening. Give them a moment. Bring them up here. You'll hear from them live. Looking for Nathan Nicholson. Looking here through the Discord chat, and I'm not seeing him. Again, I'm not too familiar with this Discord yet. That will obviously familiarize myself with that over the up-and-coming weeks. Every league's a little bit different of how they have, the process of trading off, to the broadcast booth. Some have a interview waiting area, some don't. But regardless, want to do my due diligence to try to make sure I can at least give Nathan Nicholson every opportunity, as he is tonight's winner. Okay, unfortunately, I am not seeing tonight's race winner. Second place driver, Brenson Hutt. bring him up here to the broadcast booth. And it doesn't look like I have those roles assigned. Let's do this. And it didn't work. I'll try it one more time here. And I apologize. A little bit of the issue here. Speaking to our top finishers here tonight, we'll get this ironed out. Third place finisher, James A. Morris in that 18 machine. See if I can move him. Yeah, it is just not working. So let's go ahead and try it this way. I cannot jump into other channels, other race channels as well. I apologize greatly, folks. It doesn't look like I will be able to interview tonight's podium finishers, as looks like I don't have the proper permissions. They're there, but they're not working. But nonetheless, what a way to kick off a brand new season here under the lights at Daytona. I love the call from the traditional under the lights after the noon race. And it got wild on the final lap, and it completely shook up the field. Nathan Nicholson, with a car that was missing the back half, comes home your race winner in the 99 machine. Preston Hunt in the 98 machine comes home second, and James A. Morris rounds out the top three. Let's go ahead and look at the final finishing results here tonight. Go ahead and put those up on the screen for you guys at home. Again, we went over the top three. So coming home fourth in the 51 ride is Jason Mullis, getting himself a top five in race number 1 of season 2. That's going to be Cody Dahl. The 41 of Jason Clinton comes home 6th. Sam Bolin rolls at home on 7th. Bailey Dutton is going to log an 8th place finish here. Just inside the top 10, the 21 of Todd Cray, who I thought was going to be the winner here tonight. But Daytona had other plans, comes home 9th. Doc Stout rounds out the top 10 in the 62 machine. Bailey Kramer in the 11th. Dustin Velhusen comes home 12th. David Camara 13th. Justin Lee Pearson 14th. Rounding out your top 15, the 43 of Logan Keys. Patrick DeSaulnier, I hope I'm saying that right. If I'm butchering it, I apologize. The 93 ride going to come home 16th. GT slots in that 17th place position. Toby Keys, Levi Allen, and Keith Hume round out the top 20 cars that took the green flag here tonight. Want to thank again everyone for joining us here live on Ghost Racing Network, and all the sponsors, partners. Without all of your hard work and dedication, this league's action certainly couldn't be possible with all your hard work and effort. We certainly thank you, each and every one of you, for your commitment to Premier Sim Racers Club. And like all good things must come to an end, including tonight's broadcast. And as the late, great Tony Trapasso used to say, as you walk down the road of life this week, ladies and gentlemen, do us all a favor. Don't play in traffic. And we'll see you next time right here on GRN.